Hey guys, Joseph from BlackboxMyCar. Now, in our decade-strong experience of carrying dash cams, part of our job is also to be in touch with the dash cam community, talking to you, Reddit, and Dashcam Talk. Now, listen to reviews, feedback, provide troubleshooting expertise, and bridge the gap between manufacturers and end users. While we pride ourselves on doing our due diligence in every single dash cam that we carry on our website, sometimes they just don't show their true colors until people have had their hands on to really stress test them. Or manufacturers also add fixes and features in newer updates. And everything boils down to making sure that you get the best dash cam experience. We want to introduce a fresh segment that solely focuses on how dash cams have been received after their launch. Call it a retrospective of sorts. So calling out all the dash cam lovers out there, welcome to our first episode of BlackboxMyCar's Community Corner. The dash cam that we're going to be putting a spotlight on is the true game-changing dash cam, the VIOFO A139 Pro, 4 months after launch. But in this video, we're going to be highlighting all the ways that the A139 Pro has grown since its release and how it's been received as well. So aside from providing high-quality dash cams, they do continuously innovate to provide a satisfying experience for the community. And the VIOFO A139 Pro is definitely a testament to that. They actually wanted to give the unit a bit more time before providing us with the unit so that they had enough time to iron out the bugs. The Pro is definitely the rating champ when it comes to video quality. This is also the first dash cam to use the 8 megapixel IMX678 Sony Starvis 2 sensor for its front camera at 3840 by 2160p at 30 frames per second, plus 2 megapixel Full HD for its rear and interior cameras. One of our friends from Dashcam Talk, you might recognize him as Retro Car Guy 530, he took the A139 Pro to the test. Now, what he did was he gathered the power consumption data, and he also gathered the megabits bitrate for various recording modes. He found that as the number of cameras or channel configuration decreases, or if the video resolution is reduced, the higher the video bitrate becomes, and thus larger file sizes. We can confirm that running a front-only camera at 4K can possibly reach a bitrate of 58 to 60 megabits per second. Now conversely, when we did use it with the rear camera, the maximum bitrate lowers to 44 megabits per second for the front and 16 for the rear. And when you add an additional IR camera making a 3-channel, the bitrate goes down to 26 megabits for the front and approximately 14 for the secondary cameras. So the more cameras you use, the lower the bitrate that the A139 Pro delivers. Here's another thing that the Dashcam Talk community discovered is you're actually able to change the video codec on the Pro. Now, the standard video compression that the A139 Pro uses is the common H.264 codec. Here's the thing though, there is also a hidden H.265 codec option, so when we tested it, video quality was virtually the same using H.264 and H.265, but file sizes are approximately 20% smaller when you're using the H.265 codec. So to access this, you do have to stop recording by pressing the record button. Next, long press the mic button for 4 seconds and the camera will naturally change to H.265. H.265 offers higher data compression rates for video files compared to H.264. H.265, they're only compatible with some new computers with pre-installed codec, so you might have some viewing issues. So we do recommend sticking to H.264 codecs to avoid any potential issues. So the next thing we're going to discuss are the coaxial ports on the A139 Pro. They now come with an ultra-thin coaxial cable and miniature connectors. Makes it easier to install and run along your trim. In fact, speaking with some of our professional installers at our office, they love installing the A139 Pro because of how much easier it's made their lives, especially for those European cars. So as for those rear camera ports, they are incredibly thin, so the connections themselves can be a bit loose in comparison to other models. So from the feedback that we've received, the connectors themselves can be a bit delicate and easier to damage compared to USB plugs, though they do lock quite nicely once they're connected. Our advice when you're installing, just make sure you really tuck those cables into your panel when you're installing to avoid any potential issues with your dash cam. Now, another thing that VIOFO has been working on is the clear HDR feature with the Sony Starvis 2 sensor. When it was first released, the base HDR feature was actually not working with the A139 Pro. VIOFO has now updated it with a firmware update, and it's now working back to standard form. We also found that setting the HDR setting to off or on instead of auto now works around the microSD write failure and freezing. This is actually a new feature that's specifically found in Sony Starvis 2 dashcams. At this moment, we've learned that the A139 Pro is not able to fully utilize this feature yet, but we've been assured that it's something they're striving for in the future, so fingers crossed. Now, since it carries advanced sensors, record in 3 channels, it does run hotter compared to other models that we've tested in the past. Even the base A139 version ran quite hot as well. Its operating temperature is at -10 to 65 degrees Celsius. It also looks like the additional IR and rear cameras takes a toll on power consumption and heat production, so definitely something to be aware of because we're heading towards a hot summer. We tested the power consumption of the A139 Pro, and we gotta say, it's very power hungry. Parking mode power usage is definitely comparable to normal recording power consumption. Based on our tests, the 3-channel barely lasted about 8 to 9 hours using the market's 6000 milliamp or 76.8 watt-hour dashcam battery packs. With our PC8, we were able to power the 3-channel A139 Pro for about 10 to 11 hours. However, if you're planning on using the 3-channel A139 Pro for extended parking mode sessions, we do recommend pairing the base dashcam battery pack with a second or third extension battery pack to meet your parking needs. Talk to us if you're interested in learning more about dashcam battery packs and the PC8. So the A139 Pro is available in a single, dual, or 3-channel setup. What we did notice though is the full 4K 2160p at 30 frames per second is only available on the front camera when you're running it as a single or dual channel setup. If you use all 3 cameras, you're either going to get a 24 frames per second dashcam or a 4K dashcam with the top and bottom of the front dashcam cut off. If you wish to record everything at 30 frames per second, the front camera will be reduced from 4K to 2K. So those of you who know, the A139 Pro does have the biggest microSD card capabilities in its class. It supports up to 512 gigs. That said though, we did have some customers reporting some strange app issues when they're attempting to retrieve videos from the dashcam itself. Now, what we mean by this, for example, if you record with a loop time set to 1 minute and the 512 gig card is full, there's a possibility that it's not going to show up in the most recent recordings when you try to view them in the app itself. Talking to VIOFO, they did claim that not all cards are suitable to be used with this dashcam. While the camera itself supports up to 512, we do think 128 or 256 gig cards would be still relatively more stable at this time. All in all, A139 Pro definitely still a very solid dashcam, and it gets better day after day. We love how VIOFO continues to innovate on new features, firmwares, and more, and we definitely recommend it to all of our customers. So that ends our community corner for today. Yay, it's still pending. Please, if you have a better name, let us know. You can learn more about the A139 Pro on our website, but if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Or you can always find us on live chat, give us a call, shoot us an email, etc., etc. We're always here to help. And if you're ready to make a purchase, be sure to use exclusive YouTube code BBMCTube at checkout to take 5% off. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button on your way out. Thanks for watching.